So we have organisational resilience tensions. You have to meet productivity and efficiency goals. You have to keep pace with technology, new business models and consumer trends. Consumer trends are definitely driving you towards a sustainability agenda. There's the regulation environment that you have to deal with and standards and meeting new rules. And then you have to respond to challenges and take on ownership of emerging problems. And boy, have we done that over the last 2 years. And the fact that procurement is now demanding a seat, the fact that supply chain is now demanding a seat, okay, in the boardroom is down to the fact that you have provided creative solutions which have driven many of your organisations through the pandemic. So we know what the supply chain challenges are. As we move to a second bubble, there's the occasional, evergreen blocking the Suez Canal. There are fires in chip factories. There's environmental degradation. Glen is here. He isn't going to waste an opportunity to mention the B word, but bottom right we have the Brexit issue and dealing with that. And then we have the issue in COVID in China and the Chinese ports closing, causing shortages in the supply chain, but also having an impact on the logistics and freight forwarding business. And then most obviously, most recently, we have to deal with the war in Ukraine and the challenges that puts in front of us. We know also going forward there are future risks that we're going to have to manage in terms of our supply chain integrity. This is, some of you may have seen this in previous presentations that I've done. This is a McKinsey's graph where on the vertical axis they look at the impact of a disruption, and on the horizontal axis they look at our ability to anticipate that particular disruption. So the further to the left we are on the horizontal axis, the less time we get in terms of being aware that the disruption is coming. The more vertical we are on the axis, the bigger impact that it has. For me, I've said it again in a number of speeches that I've had, I think going forward, one of the things that you're going to have to manage is systemic cyber attacks. I think our businesses are looking at that all of the time, and now if we take that into the context of a war situation and a particular and a potential response to that, I think it's something that organisations have to think about. We've dealt with extreme pandemic. We've seen the cost of dealing with that extreme pandemic that goes into trillions. Okay, we did get a little bit of time in terms of weeks to prepare for it. And then we've seen the impact of local military conflict. So again, I think this is a useful schema to look at in order to think about the potential risks that we have to manage in our supply chain and the time that we're likely to get to be able to respond to it. As far as supply chains and sustainability are concerned, this is a World Economic Forum paper that I've referenced in the past, looking at the net zero challenge and what the opportunity is for supply chain. Okay, and essentially you have the capability, both in the procurement and supply chain context, to be real game changers as far as climate change is concerned.